Be quick. Hello, everyone. Welcome to the 3, sometimes 2 comic review. Oh, you got chocolate milk? I want chocolate milk. I got some behind me.
This came with my Chipotle.
Oh,
What?
Well, then you paid like $3 for that.
It came with my Chipotle children's meal.
Oh, because the quesadilla is a children's meal. I am sick. Rob is not, and Murray is not.
I am not sick.
As you can see, Murray's got his usual twinkle in his eye. I don't know if
that's the glasses.
Might also be syphilis. All right. We got 3 comics. We have some awful comics. We got 3 comics. We're going to review 1 in each video, and we're going to split that up over 3-4 days of posting to YouTube. If we get too inspired to misrepresent ourselves in a video format that our bosses might be watching, we will probably not post that video, but we'll try and post everything we can. All right, who wants to start? We're doing this differently. We each picked a comic, and we're gonna be kind of the host for that comic. I think.
Yeah, why don't you have the Marvel one, right?
Yes.
Why don't we start with Marvel?
All right, here we go. I'm gonna open this up. That's not chocolate milk. Oh, for good reason, probably.
Doing a chore.
That's not a chore. That doesn't count as a chore.
It counts.
I'm gonna do this.
Help, I'm stuck in this tiny window.
I'm gonna do what everyone does at my company. Can you guys see my screen? You guys,
Oh god.
Can you guys see my screen?
I feel like people should know.
It's a big green box around it for a good reason.
Yeah, like, yeah.
Nah, we've already started feisty. This is not gonna go well.
It's these comics.
Okay, so I picked Woman of Marvel.
Is it Women of Marvel, or is it #1 Women of Marvel?
No, it's Women of Marvel. I can't believe that they're gonna make more than one of this.
I think they are. I think it's supposed to be 6 comics.
Oh, okay.
They already have so many comic stories in this one.
I know, it was a lot.
I would like to note that out of everyone here, I think only Gamora is in this comic.
Oh my goodness, I think you might be right.
Yeah, out of all of them, who is the winged woman?
I don't know.
Yeah, I was trying to figure that out.
She's Wonder Woman.
Yeah, because that was my first thought. Because I was like, oh, Wonder Woman, apparently.
She's got a mustache emoji on her helmet.
Yes, she does. My guess would be someone within the Thor universe. Okay, so I didn't know what to expect going into this. About halfway through the comic, it finally clicked with me what was going on. So it's very much women, in particular women of color, in comics, and women, in particular women of color, as writers and artists.
Sure.
I have a major problem with the way comics were depicted in the 80s and 90s and 2000s, in that they made Murray the man he is, with boobs hanging out everywhere.
There was a lot of them.
Like wearing underwear basically as an outfit.
Emma Frost.
Yeah, the artist said, basically you draw the naked human form, and then it gets colored. Like that's what comic art was back then.
Yeah.
In an interview with one of the artists.
Yeah, but unfortunately, the average human form to them was like 36 triple F.
Oh.
with
Sure.
a
That depends on
30
where you live in the world, but yeah.
with a 38-inch inseam for legs, right? So I've always had a problem with that. They've always, when you compare it to the men, they've over sexualized every woman in the comics, and lately they've been peeling that back. Like you look at Jean Grey has gone back to like her really old outfit that's all covered up, versus her in Phoenix, where she's basically naked, flying around with flames around her. So gotta go pick that comic up, Homer.
Yeah, I gotta find that one.
Rob's like, I better look this up for research purposes.
No, I'm rescanning through the Firefly comic real quick to make sure I remember what I was going to say. But yes,
so if you look across this page, it's there's very few male, very few or little male representation yet. I think Roy might be the only one on the Goddess of Death Sleeps Tonight, and all the way through to the editor, it's females working on this. So there's a couple of artists that I don't like that are working on this. Peach Momoko is one of them, although people seem to love her stuff.
I think it's the style, and I'm with
Yeah.
you. It's not my style, but it is a popular style.
Yeah, it's a anime meets Americanized with a bunch of fluff around it. So I'm with you, Rob. Like your first mention on this comic was that for a female empowering comic, they find themselves in some very cliche female positions.
Right.
So we have Lady Deathwatch here, who got her nails done for some reason. They totally bejeweled.
Right.
And she can't figure out how to get her keys out of her wallet.
I mean, does she would have that problem even if she didn't get her nails bejeweled, right?
Yes. So I kind of this is pretty bad when it came to kind of misrepresenting what women can do in comics.
Right. And I think this comic didn't to come out of the gate with this one, out of all of them that are in this, because there were ones, and we'll get to them, there were ones in here that I didn't hate, that I thought were okay.
Yeah.
But to start on this one
was weak.
Was very counteractive to the very female empowering message that they were saying in that page of text. And then to go to like, oh no, Lady Deathstrike got her nails done and now she can't get her keys out of her purse. It's like,
right,
what, like, is this Legally Blonde? Like, what happened?
Yeah. And I will say that I don't think anyone could understand the plight of someone else, right?
Yes, for sure.
But I think what we hope for as 30 and 40 something people who have strong women in their lives, we hope that a female character doesn't get dumbed down to this representation, especially Lady Deathstrike. Like, if you put some real clothes on her, she could kick anyone's butt on any day.
She's a badass.
She's a great character.
Yeah.
Without needing this, this kind of, I don't know if you'd call it average woman day out kind of environment. It's like, no, she's a villain and does really cool things and has a lot of talent.
And I think that's the point there. When you said this is the average woman's day out, this is what men think an average woman's day out is, right?
Yes,
like,
that this was a point I was going to make maybe later, but I'll make it now because it's starting off in this foot. Is before we started recording, I think I said, like, did you realize that, oh, maybe this was all written by men? because actually these stories feel like it's something that a man would be like, oh, we're writing a comic for women now, okay. and they
Yeah,
came up with
yeah.
stories like this.
Yeah, it's kind of a guy going, I can be sensitive to women's needs. And it might be the other side of it. It might be a woman writer going, I can't make this too feminine, empowering, because we would lose our target audience of every comic ever written, which is 18 to 35. This is a nice change. So we're moving on to the next story. We have Peggy Carter, who I do believe, and I'm going to say it right now, that Sharon Carter is not her niece.
Right, not actually related.
She was just playing the role to get to Cap America.
Mhm.
I've never seen this being done before. Maybe it's been done and it's precedence, but we're at the bottom of a panel where they announce Captain America, Peggy Carter. Most of us reading this would just kind of go, okay, whatever.
Yeah, because we've read comics and we realize that
Things happen.
multiple storylines is just a thing.
Yeah.
Or
Yeah,
timelines.
And you don't have to know that there's a what if comic that is exactly this, and it's actually coming
Right.
to the MCU, blah, 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 blah. But to put at the bottom here, the actual, go look it up. It's in this comic book. We promise we're not making stuff up here. It's just ridiculous.
I hate to tell you this, but all comic books are made up at some point. I don't need another comic to prove to me that this was okay for you to do.
Right.
Like, I've read some awful comics and I didn't feel like, where'd they get this from?
Right. What? This doesn't have canon behind it.
Yeah.
Although some kid reading a wiki page probably would say that.
Right.
So she meets up with a spy with a prosthetic leg. Germans, Nazis, they do have Nazi armbands, but I just assume anyone in Germany around 1940 was Nazi.
You can, yeah. Yeah.
They stop them because they see the back of the shield, but they don't stop them because she has a woman of color with her, which is way more stoppable in France in the 1940s.
Right, at that point in time, yeah.
Hey,
sure.
is the back of that shield black? Oh, stop her.
It took me a while to realize that she took a prosthetic leg off and beat someone with it.
Right. And that they're both prosthetic legs.
Are they?
Yes.
Oh, what?
I believe so.
No.
Oh, it's just the one. It's just the
just
one.
the one. Yeah.
I'm pointing at the monitor like you
Rob,
can see what I'm
not
pointing
canon.
at. It's clearly a real leg.
I do like how the spy, or whatever her name is, says that Lillian says that she blends in well, and she's referring to the little French hat that she put on.
Oh yeah. Yeah, okay, and see, like,
very
this
American.
I didn't mind. I liked this little blip in story. I thought it was good. The art style was a little odd, but I liked it. I don't know how to describe it, but
it was a little.
It felt different, but I
Archie
enjoyed it.
And Veronica.
Yes,
yes,
a little bit,
right.
like just leaning towards that slightly.
Yeah,
but yeah, like this story I liked a lot. Like I feel like put this one first. Like and then Lady Deathstrike gets her nails done.
Well, I'll tell you why they put the other one first, because of Mako.
Oh yeah, okay.
Whatever.
The artist.
Yeah, because she's got so much pull in the industry right now.
Oh, gotcha. Okay. Makes sense.
I thought, like you said, this is a good comic. I feel like part of it is that they've represented Peggy as a strong woman throughout her career without having to put on ridiculous clothing, without having to do ridiculous things.
Right.
She's just a really...
Her outfit doesn't have a boob window.
Right. Right, DC.
Well, that's just because she's not Emma Frost, like this one.
Yeah, then we got to this. Now, this is where I realized what the market for this is. It is not 18 to 35. The market for this is 12 to 18.
Sure.
for this comic book. This comic, probably the intent of this particular one probably was for girls to have a good body image of themselves and to wear the heck whatever they want, but it did not come across that way.
Yeah, and also that's not what happened. Like, yeah, she wore
Yeah.
whatever she wanted out, but then she projected
Yes.
the good clothing into people's minds.
Yes.
And so she can't project boots, I guess.
Murray, she didn't need to because they weren't in the wash.
Yeah, everything else needed to be washed.
Okay. Because
Jeez.
I'm
dry
looking at this
cleaned.
going, so the story here is that she didn't want to do laundry, but she definitely still wants to put on makeup. Like there's
Yeah.
lipstick on there, or maybe that's just how her lips look because she's Emma Frost. Maybe they're permanently like that. I would have assumed like the makeup projection would have been the main thing that girls would want.
I also realized from this that she wants to have all her clothes, her body parts hanging outside of her clothes.
Oh,
Yeah, is it weird that I like her quote unquote crappy outfit better than the one that she projected?
Yeah, way more down to earth.
Yeah,
that's for sure.
I would say she would still get those same comments, or thoughts and looks wearing that.
Did she change
outfit.
her hair?
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh man.
Like I like the original hair too. But
I read through this, to be honest. I read through this. All the little one pagers I read through really quick.
Yeah, and you should. I think we spent too much time on it, but the girl in the front, the Frost in the front is very TikTok.
Sure.
Right? The one in the
Yeah.
back is very fashion forward. So I don't know, whatever. I didn't feel like that was particularly good. I didn't think this one was particularly good either.
Yeah, I didn't understand. Didn't understand this one. I think I read this one twice, and I was like, "Wait, what happened here?"
Wait,
like,
you just read this one twice because you liked the orange guy.
Well, I wanted to be interested because there was a dinosaur man. Yeah.
so
And then he brought
this
a dinosaur skeleton to life.
So
Hold
is
up.
this a Jurassic Park crossover or not?
I was just thinking that. Is that supposed to be the two scientists from Jurassic Park?
Right. I couldn't figure out what the heck is going on in this one.
But they never say their names. So they never say Ellie Statler or whatever her last name is, and then Alan Grant. But
so Topps owns the rights to Jurassic Park, not Marvel. So I doubt it's a crossover. Although that wouldn't stop them from doing
characters that look like them, but never
Yeah.
mentioning that it is them.
Yes.
Gotcha.
So Rogue likes a boy. It's probably Bobby. Stuff happens. Dinosaur comes to life. Rogue doesn't know what to do.
Rogue gets saved by her mom.
Well, depends what universe you're in.
It says it in the comic.
Oh.
Yeah.
Well,
so
then
this
it
is
doesn't
the universe.
depend on what universe you're in.
I mean, you're right. It does depend. It's just this one happens to be the case.
Oh, I hate it when they do that.
We're because even she yells at her, "We're not talking about this young lady," and like, yeah, they're very mom.
Yeah. So is this story like
just
about,
like when my mom used to call me young lady?
How to deal with when your mom, shape shifts and ruined your potential date? Is that?
I thought this comic was silly. I mean, I didn't think it was bad. It just was dumb.
I didn't understand anything about it, and maybe there's some backstory there that they should have referenced in a little box that I could go read learn about.
I didn't even know if this was canon.
Please watch X-Men 3 for reference.
Yeah, watch X-Men 3. That would be hilarious. Tell you to go watch a movie instead.
That's made by Sony. Okay, so I think what the point of this is talk to your parents about what's going on in your life.
Sure.
So this is even for younger girls, I guess.
Yeah. This is 12 through 18. Like this is the 12-year-old side. I mean, you have a big orange lizard guy.
He's pretty great.
He's also a some sort of mechanical genius or scientist or wizard. I don't know.
Oh, smash!
Yeah, it's not even a Hulk smash either. It's...
I don't know why the skeleton. I don't know how the skeleton stayed together when it came alive.
Magic.
And then why it fell apart when
Magic.
she smashed. Okay, magic. It's like
comic magic.
Mystique's powers. You know how you know that Mystique is falling at a high speed? Her boobs are pointing upwards.
Oh my goodness. I suppose that might happen. I don't have
it's a pretty high speed, I guess.
I know that happens because I have boobs.
Oh man.
Moves.
This is another attempt, I think, at introducing girls to Medusa's powers while referencing what kids thought was cool like 2 years ago, and that was scrunchies.
You may have to add a 0 onto that too.
No, it was popular 30 years ago, and then it became popular again.
Was it? Man.
We're old enough to have seen it happen twice.
Maybe 3 times.
Oh. This is the Voscam girl look, right? With scrunchies and the...
Yeah.
Oh my goodness. I guess so.
There's a cat in there.
Yes. Also a teapot, and so story behind
a stapler.
So depending on what
and
Medusa,
then a dude.
What Medusa either she can only control her hair by thinking about controlling her hair, or she cannot control her hair by thinking about not controlling her hair. Like,
well, that sounds way more interesting than what's actually happening in this
comic.
So is it like a conscious versus subconscious control?
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, gotcha.
So this one is subconscious.
Yeah.
Or whatever. I don't know. I can't think anymore.
I guess it's a joke, right? That's the point of that one.
Yes. Yeah, you have...
I had to remember who this character was, and then I was reminded as to, okay, metal arm.
It's like when Falcon and Winter Soldier become the same person, but they're a girl.
And they're a detective.
Yes.
Or was a detective, or was a cop.
And then the policemen are purple.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. They're from Planet Grimace.
There's
Man, that was way too fast of a Grimace joke. I was starting to think of one, and
gotta have the Grimace jokes just ready to go.
Rob thinks about Grimace first, and then he thinks about everything else.
There's way too much Grimace in your back pocket.
Accurate. I gotta order some milkshakes.
Okay, so this comic I did not mind.
Yeah, same. I thought this was okay.
I thought it was appropriate. I thought that it wasn't kind of Medusa tying up her hair.
There is one thing.
What's that?
About this one? Well, we'll get there.
I did not understand why her arm moved up by itself.
Because the techno mancer or whatever.
Yeah. Yes.
Okay,
that's why she said turn on airplane mode if you have it.
And then like all the lady heroes show up. I was like, oh, okay. This is the part where I was like, well, okay, I guess that's a little weird. But they did do this in Endgame also. So yeah.
I thought this was maybe more deserved.
Sure.
So here's
wait, did Iron Patriot become a woman?
Yeah.
Okay.
Right. So this, I believe this is called the A-Force.
Okay.
There's actually like a Avenger initiative that is just females.
Oh, gotcha.
But is it female like is that Green who is it? Who would that be? That Arrow person. That's not Green Arrow because that's from DC. But who's that?
Hawkeye?
Maybe. So would it be like girl versions of guy heroes?
No. These are women that have inherited or started as women
Okay, so that makes more
in
sense
their
to
role.
me.
Like the girl with the handprints across the face is Echo.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Spider Woman, Iron Patriot, Tigress, I think. So these are like Ant-Man's daughter become
Oh,
Okay.
interesting.
Interesting.
becomes Stinger, and Stinger's in the Young Avengers.
Gotcha.
So they've actually introduced in the MCU, they've introduced almost every single young Justice. I mean, young, not Justice, Avenger.
That would be
already.
impressive. Who
And
is the M on the right hand side?
I
She
did
got the
not
M
know.
on her belt. Yeah, I was trying to figure that out. Maybe I'll look it up while we're continuing to get through the rest of this.
This Rhino comic, thoughts?
Okay.
I
Can I
didn't.
say
It was. Go ahead. Go ahead.
this is probably the one I enjoyed the most because
Okay.
it was the most like regular snapshot of a normal comic, maybe, where like you have a real woman-based hero, She-Hulk, and you have
Right.
a real like non-woman based villain, and it puts you right in the center of what's happening, which is a very comic booky type of chase, and a girl gets thrown over a ledge and She-Hulk has to fight and all this, and then you find at the end that it's like also a kind of a joke comic a little bit.
Yep,
like there's some
yep.
humor there. It's not really like what you thought it was. I like this one the best out of like, if we're trying to do something new, we're trying to focus on stories of Marvel women, this felt like a good representation of it.
Yeah, I think
Yeah.
I agree. I think they didn't oversell it. I felt like it was very 1990s cartoon.
Yeah, it was.
Um,
Had some humor, didn't take itself too seriously, but also didn't like twist the story so much that it was like strangely woman forward.
yeah, I'm a little torn by the end.
Yeah, I didn't understand the end at all at first.
Oh yeah, yeah.
And then I kind of started to my first confusion was like, who is that person that's handing him the papers?
Right.
Hmm.
Yeah.
And then I thought about it and I was like, does She-Hulk become like a normal person? And I guess I didn't know. And I thought, well, maybe she does. But then it's like, well, if she becomes a normal person, where does she get the extra clothing? So I just assumed, and maybe I'm wrong, that She-Hulk becomes a normal person like Hulk can. And she put on like a tracksuit and then handed him the papers.
No, I think the key is that She-Hulk is not like Hulk.
Yeah, I didn't think so, but I was assuming maybe this was, that's what was happening here.
Is more comfortable in her green skin than she is in her human-like skin.
Okay.
Oh, gotcha.
And she can kind of form the clothing the way she wants.
I feel like I've seen comics or pictures of her where she's very much in the Hulk form.
Yeah.
And she's in court being a lawyer, Yeah.
There's no reason why she needs to transform, unless they're lining up something in a comic book.
So did she become this Pink Ranger character?
Yes.
So this is her.
You'll notice that the part that's going across her chest, the two-sided axe thing, matches up with her other costume, the black one.
Yeah. So I guess I still am confused. So if She-Hulk becomes regular person, does she have to put on another more clothes, or does it like
No. She's
Her outfit can change.
She's
it's-
she's a lot like the Vision.
yeah.
Oh, wow. Interesting.
Yeah, her name is She-Hulk because she was green and a she, and very strong. And so they thought that she'd be like a Hulk character, but it ends up that she's actually way more her own thing.
So yeah,
I just thought this
confused by
was
that.
hilarious in that he ran into her,
Yeah.
and because of that, she served him the papers. Like
And-
that made me laugh.
What's interesting too is that his horn broke off and he's acting like it hurt.
Yeah, I know he doesn't actually have a horn. I was like, maybe he forgot.
Okay, so yeah, we have another short one with Jean Grey saying that it's okay to kill your plants.
Yeah, she got frustrated, killed her plants, and then turned it into ceramic, like, and confused Cyclops. Although he was very accepting of what had happened.
She says it's fireproof. And I think that's a lean towards Cyclops saying, so you can't destroy it now. But Cyclops does not, his beam does not have any heat associated with it at all.
Right.
So
It's just force, right? Yeah.
and then we had Marrow and Farrell.
Okay. I knew it was Marrow.
Yeah.
I think I skimmed a little more quickly through this one.
Yeah, so they have Marrow's really feisty. She always has been.
Yep.
Farrell too. So I'm surprised they painted her as such a little kitty cat. Some really good action in this one.
Yep.
Kind of going back and forth. This is where things start falling off for this comic. Look at the height of the shark compared to Marrow, and then look in the next, like 2 frames down. Look how massive that shark is compared to Marrow.
I liked the shark. That's all I have to say about that. I don't the size thing, you're completely right, but I like the shark.
So you have Farrell being picked on, and then Marrow steps in and kind of goes, and with her scary face. So Marrow has bone that she can project out of her body and can project onto her body. So she can make herself look pretty scary looking. And she protects her, but still doesn't want to be friends with her. Although she says, hey, you want to get out of here? Like they're going to go on a date or something. My room's warm and comfortable, and I got whiskey.
We got a litter box. Like that other, like that other guy made a joke about.
We can use your tail to get the remote from behind the TV.
Maybe we'll invite the shark guy. He seemed cool.
So is Cyclops hanging out with you can't see where I'm pointing.
Yeah.
Is Cyclops hanging out with someone getting a drink with leaves in it?
Yeah, I
think that's a mojito.
There's some X-Men there.
I think this might be Black Bolt, but that doesn't make sense because every time he talks to Cyclops' skin would be removed from his face. But yes, that is happening. There's a lot of X-Men in the background here that make no sense at all.
Yeah. Okay.
Sure. There's a lot, including the shark guy.
Oh man, he's such a good X-Men that I've never heard of or seen before.
But he is an X-Men. He has it on his belt.
I just want to know at what point does he turn into human?
Let's just hope he doesn't. He's just always Shark Man.
That?
No, like he's got legs. He's got 2 legs.
Okay, so maybe he always has shark head.
He's Shark Head Man.
Yes,
I can't believe you didn't draw all these conclusions like we did. There's Gambit
and Chameleon.
There's also like Birdface Man over there on the left. I mean,
and yes, Cyclops. These people really like Cyclops. Cyclops getting
his old suit.
Yeah. Anyhow,
this is like the girl fight comic where like they fight and then they go out and they party and then they stand up for each other and then they go hang out.
Yeah. I would imagine that this is a lot like what it actually was like in the mansion. Like people just fighting constantly.
Yeah.
And then we have Hela buying a weighted blanket.
Does she buy a weighted blanket or
No,
just
she
use
just
the wolf
uses
as a
the wolf,
weighted blanket?
yeah.
Okay, cool. I think we've just about covered this one.
And then this is probably the worst
It was not
animation or drawing
It
that I have
was not
seen.
good.
So, so this is Gamora. She kills a worm. She goes on a date, or like on a bid for me.
Bid for me. Wow. Yes.
I mean, that's
Yeah.
what she's on. I mean,
A lady
she's-
auction.
she's literally at a casino at a lady auction. A suave guy comes and buys her. Yes, buys her.
Yes.
Takes her back to his place. She kicks his butt. And then you have the grotesquely looking Rocket Raccoon.
I don't know what you're talking about. It's the perfect Rocket Raccoon.
He's like 6 times bigger than he should be.
He's drinking the thing. He's awful. He is awful.
So was this guy like child trafficking or something? Is that the
Why?
point?
Why? Oh yeah, I guess there's a bunch of children there.
Yeah.
You know, it's funny. This is one of those things that when you think you buy a woman at auction, and then you go back to your place for whatever, you think you don't bring up that, hey, by the way, I don't know if you're into this, but I also traffic children.
So he
I think she knew.
he didn't buy her. He picked her.
Oh, well, wait.
He picked her for purchase.
Right.
It's different than
But it
buying.
is so. The worst part of humanity is watching those bachelorette shows and those bachelor shows where 12 women or 12 men will do whatever the heck they need to get a rose. They will sleep with the guy, wear nothing at all around the house.
Yeah, that's what I would do.
Demeaning. Rob, you already do that.
That's right. It's a miracle I'm wearing a shirt today.
A miracle I hope to continue to see.
Yes.
Just wait till we review the comic that I've got. No shirt for that one.
Okay, so at the end we have a spotlight of all these wonderful, wonderful creators that not only work at Marvel, but they do all sorts of different things at Marvel. It is well worth reading through it. And here are some comics. Some of them have been released already, like this Indigenous Voices.
Okay.
It's worth going back and finding these comics and reading them.
Oh, cool.
Ironheart in particular is really, really good.
Really? I mean, I knew about Ironheart. I just haven't read it or done anything like that. So maybe I'll look into that.
I think what I like about it is that they don't draw a direct line to Tony Stark.
Sure.
Oh.
But she's not supposed to be a direct line, right? It's just supposed to be like,
yeah,
she has or has found the suit. I actually don't know her.
She actually built her own suit.
Oh, okay.
And one day while trying to figure out a problem in her garage, Tony shows up and gives her a bunch of hardware and she doesn't know who the heck he is.
Oh, that's awesome.
And then
Okay,
he
cool.
takes off and she never sees him again. And then so it's actually it's not borrowing, if that makes sense.
Sure. It's not like we wanted a female Iron Man, so we made this.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah. So look,
Cool.
I thought this comic was okay. I thought there was some missteps.
Yes.
I thought that they could have been more subtle at times, but then with other stories, they were really on point. So I'll give it a 3.
Oh, you're where I was. 3.
Murray, not enough boobs.
Yeah,
Actually, yeah, go ahead.
It's not that, but I feel like I guess I guess the target market shifted to much younger than I had anticipated while looking at this originally.
Yes.
Maybe understanding that, I would lean towards 3, but I was actually thinking 2.5 because it's, you can tell a regular story with like female leads or even female bad guys or something like that, and you can have joke comics in between. But it was super like girls only, boys don't read this, which comics, whenever girls don't read this, just might not be super interesting to them, or it might be very interesting. We got tons of girls that dress up at, Comic-Con and everything else from regular comic books that aren't necessarily like girl forward or boy forward. It just felt like super like girl, like no boys allowed kind of like on the cover, and I felt like it could have been a little bit more balanced in that way.
I would wholeheartedly disagree with you that that people doing cosplay are doing mutual cosplay. When you see cosplay, it's tight-fitting outfits with,
what I mean is like girls are fans of comics without it having to be a girl comic. So they like will dress up as their favorite character without saying, "Oh no, that I'm only dressing up as the one that came from the."
But I do think that that's the minority.
Comic.
Like you look at a Comic-Con and how many guys are there compared to how many girls?
Cosplayers or just in general?
In general.
Okay.
Yeah, maybe in general. When you see cosplayers, there's a lot of girls.
But that's because guys are clamoring for that. Like they want attention.
Yeah.
In a negative way.
Yeah, so I mean, but they're fans of those characters, and so it seems like, okay, if you want to focus on women's stories, that's fine. And I guess it's seeing that it's maybe a much younger audience than I had anticipated. Maybe that's why it turned out this way. But it's like you can have regular fun comic stories that both guys and girls enjoy reading without it being so like girls only, no boys allowed kind of narrative.
Okay.
So I'd say 2.5.
Okay, cool. I don't know that this series is gonna have a long legs. Like I said, six comics.
I think I read that it was going to be 6 issues.
I mean, that sounds right. That's like a short series.
Yeah, I weirdly, and maybe I'll talk about it some other video. this one's long, but I watched.
Sorry.
What was the? No, it's fine. This was a big comic, and there was a lot to talk about. I watched the comic trailer for this comic. Have you seen
comic
these?
Trailer?
Have you not seen
I have
these?
not seen these.
I think Marvel is doing them for a lot of their comics, which is like when they come out with a new comic series, they put out a video trailer for the comic. And I stumbled across the one for this. And
Women of Marvel.
And my daily homepage search.
It was just like these comic trailers are all ridiculous. I've watched more than a few for comics that we're looking at, and it's just like I don't know.
Is it misrepresentative? Is that?
No, they're just dumb. Like I watched it and I was like, okay,
does Rocket show up?
Did it make you want to read about Rocket?
That would have made me want to read this even more than I did. Oh, I figured out who that the girl was with the M on her belt. It's Mockingbird.
Oh, there you go.
I searched for Daughters of Liberty and opened up every single page because they have them all listed as their real names, not their Twitter names. So Barbara Morse is Mockingbird. Yeah, so there was White Tiger, Mockingbird, Spider-Woman. I don't know who that is. Yeah. Apparently Sharon Carter is a
Yeah.
I think that's Sharon Carter. Yeah. Yeah. And you're right, like Echo, War Machine.
Yeah. All right. Well, that was a long one. I'm going to stop recording and start the next one. Thank you for watching this long woman-centric video by 3 guys that don't really know women at all.
It's true. I have seen like a few.
Stop sharing. All right, people.
Great way to go out.
All right.
I've seen a few. End scene.
Gotta go.